Hey, welcome. My name is Gavin. This is the Blissfully Business Show here on YouTube. Really excited that you're here. And I'm going to start off this episode with a big question. If your business was a person, would you even like it? Would you resonate with it? Would you admire it? How do you perceive your business as a person? Today, we're going to be talking about culture. Now, before you go, oh, I don't, I want to grow my business and culture doesn't matter. We're going to look at it from a different angle. And I really want to open your mind up to the subject, regardless of the size of your company, because it's that important. Now, there's going to be some people that misconstrue this with branding, and how you perceive this is going to radically change how you look at your business. So everything I do on this channel, welcome if this is your first time, but I want to come at your business, help you improve your business, scale your business from a different angle, from a different perspective, but also like not at the cost of your fulfillment, of your happiness, of your freedom. I want to enlarge that, enhance that aspect of it. Because unfortunately, I do a lot of business consulting, talk to a lot of business owners, obviously. And, a lot of people create jobs within their business and then wonder why they feel so stuck and so stagnant and have lack of meaning, right? Well, it's because one of the reasons is you don't have culture in your business and you've looked at it the wrong way. So let's take a look at what culture is, how to change it, and what it's going to mean for your business right now. What comes to mind when you think of culture? A lot of times people go, oh, it's like, how we do group lunches or how we have meetings or, these special newsletters that we send out. And I'm not ripping on those things. Those are all part of culture, but it goes way beyond that. And here's the first thing I would really want you to grasp. Your culture is who you are as the founder. You are as the owner of the company, and it's who you're becoming. So, that's one of the things I love about business is that you have to grow with your business. If you don't grow, your business is never going to grow with it. And the more you grow, from a personal perspective, a possibility perspective, and change your mind about what's possible, that's going to allow and cause the growth in your business. So, a lot of times people just look at it as like this costume they put on their business instead of like what their business represents when other people view it, and almost like the personality of their business. So again, I always like to ask the question, like, if your business was a person, what kind of personality would it have? How would other people perceive it? And what is that meaning for like the value people are getting, how they look at your product, how they look at your services? And if they don't really like what they're perceiving with your personality of the business, that's probably hurting you without ever knowing it. Okay. So, what are some things you can look at and do differently? Quick break to tell you about my new book, The Awakened Business Playbook. So, if you're a successful, established entrepreneur feeling, very trapped in your business, you're working way more than you want to, enjoying it way less, then I created this book for you. Here's the thing. You started your business with a vision of freedom and purpose. Somewhere along the way, though, that dream got buried under endless tasks and responsibilities. We all know those as business owners. And this playbook is going to give you the exact unconventional framework to scale your business while dramatically reducing your hours and rekindling that spark that got you started. Don't settle for success without fulfillment. That's not necessary. You don't have to go down that path. The link's below in the description. Take 30 seconds to check it out after this episode, and I guarantee you'll never see your business the same way again. Now, back to our conversation. First, I want you to look at how people perceive your business. So they're looking at like, who is this business? Like who's running it? What do they stand for? What's the vibe they give? Is it like really exciting, outgoing, fun, and very sincere and authentic? Or is it just like, oh, yeah, this is what we do. We're kind of like other companies, but we do it better. Like there's a huge difference on that. just being my personality on this, I feel like I'm rather outgoing, but I also am not this huge rah-rah guy. And I'm not going to be able to. I watch some videos sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, their energy is crazy. Well, you still have to be who you are, right? Yet you want to be the best version of that. So what would the best version look like in your company? And that's how I want you to look at it. Is like, what would be the best version of who you really are and what your business really is and what they offer on everything you do. Every email is just like, hey, when I'm going to be sending this out to clients or customers, or I'm going to be doing some marketing, what's the vibe of that email? Is that something you can put your name to that you would say, this is the culture I want to create? Every marketing piece, every video, and anything that you're putting out there, whether it's customer service or not, like, is this really what I want to be personified as if I was a person? And I realize your business is not a person, but this is a different way of looking at it. So, you really brainstorm every time you're doing it, evaluate yourself. Like, is this what I want people to resonate with? Is this something that like I can put my business's name to and that captures what I want other people to feel? That is the huge aspect of everything you're putting out there. When people think of your business, what do they feel? If they could describe your business in one word, what would that be? Would it be like, gosh, they're just, sincere, or they're fun, or they're hilarious, or they just make me feel good. They're inspiring, they're motivational. Like, what's something when you put stuff out there that you would want people to think in that moment? For example, on this video for me right now, I mean, my one of my favorite things is like transparency, is that I'm going to be open and upfront with you. I'm not gonna always act like, "Hey, I have everything all figured out." I I love business consulting because I know the pain of having a business, of growing a business, of how hard it is, of how lonely it is sometimes. And that like as entrepreneurs, we're go-getters and we're willing to like do what other people aren't willing to do. But the blind spot is that we also feel like we have it all figured out and it's hard for us to get help. And so therefore there's a lot of things that we just keep doing the same way, thinking that's gonna give us a different result, and that doesn't happen, right? They just, do more and more and more of what we know, and then we go, "Why are we getting more and more of what we necessarily don't want or kind of the same thing?" So I've created this channel to really open your mind up to a different perspective on how you to run your business. That there's a million videos on YouTube that are going to give you tactics. And guess what? In the right time and place, tactics are amazing. But like I work with like successful entrepreneurs who have already made money, but they're having trouble getting to that next level. And they're really feeling, a lack of meaning and fulfillment, and they'd rather spend more time on the things that they're good at, that they enjoy, rather than all the other things they hate doing. And again, that their business has become a job. So, what's one way that you can do that is to think of everything you do as culture within your business. And how would you want people to perceive you? And again, this has to be you. And this is why you have to be who you are, but also become the vision within yourself and what's waiting for you and have that growth, like I mentioned earlier, because you want your customers and your audience and how you provide a service or your clients, you want them to grow along with you. You want them to come along for the ride within your business and that everybody gets to benefit from what I would call that ascension process. And and again, if you haven't come across me before, this is what I help entrepreneurs and business owners do is that I'm going to help them actually take their business from where it is. And yes, we're going to scale. Yes, we're going to compound growth, but we're going to implement purpose. We're going to implement like what you're really good at, your gifts, your talents, what you enjoy, so that when you wake up in the morning, you can't wait for your business. Also, we're going to uh, basically really get clear on why you're doing the business and where you want to go and creating some level of I'm not big on the word balance, but freedom that you get to run your business rather than have to like do everything within it. And quite frankly, that's what a business really is. Almost everybody struggles with like what to give up, how to, leverage themselves. And whether it's through employees, whether it's through AI, whether it's through one of my favorite things is just elimination of things that don't matter or aren't as important as a lot of business owners like to think they are. Quite frankly, what I see on a daily basis is people doing all kinds of things because they've always done it to make themselves feel better that they're working hard and doing all these things. And most of those things aren't that valuable. And I would even argue a lot of them are a complete waste of time, but they're not willing to look at it because it makes them feel good. Like, look at the hours I'm putting in. I'm trying this, and they're just kidding themselves in a lot of ways. So when coming back to your culture and the personality of your business and how people perceive it, this is one of those ways to start looking and having a new perception about your business. And again, there are people who will say, well, this is branding. And to a certain level, they're like cousins, I would say it is like, what do you want people to think of when they, comes to your company? But, this is about what's within your business and what you're building within your business is what other people are going to experience. Okay. So it is really a within thing. And and then everybody else gets to see that out there. And I feel like that's what branding does is kind of like is how you want to really be represented and what you want people to think of with you. But the culture is what creates the brand. It's kind of the foundation of that. So, what do you want your business to be like? What do you want employees to, be thinking about your company? What do you want your marketing? What do you want your sales? What do you want your product and your services to represent? So, you really got to get clear on what that looks like. For me, I work with a lot of middle-aged people who, again, are successful, but are like, gosh, is this all there is? And there's got to be something more. And I'm already working hard and I've already tried all these things. And we have scar tissue from our failures. Like, oh my gosh, I will tell you stories on so many of the failures, but like, there's all these limitations within our mind. And we're very capable. We've seen it. But what usually the block is being able to open our minds up to another way of looking at things. And so all these videos will be about that. And, I really want you to invite you to look at your business differently. And just as you're listening to this, maybe after this video, leave a comment like, what's one word that you would think other people would say about your business if they were describing you as a person? And what's your one word for your business? And then go ask other people, and you might be surprised. I mean, sometimes we don't want to get that feedback, but the feedback is where the change happens, the transformation happens. And who cares about like, you might get negative feedback. You might be like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. But wouldn't you rather know? I mean, that's the other thing is so many of us, I've done this too. You don't like getting criticized. You don't like negative feedback. So we put our heads in the sand and go, this is what we think it is. And so we can just be like, la la la, life is good and stuff. But the universe, the evidence, the results are all showing you the story. And you have to look at the story first to be able to write a new story. Or otherwise you just keep writing the same book and the same chapters and the same story over and over. And then you feel stuck, you feel stagnant. You're like, where did I go wrong? This isn't the business I want to create. I'm not inspired. What am I doing? Maybe I should be doing something else, right? You know all the things. So if you haven't, subscribed, I would invite you to subscribe. I have what I've just created a new book, and there is a cost to this book, but it's also, I would recommend, basically, I just want you to comment if you want it and say, yes, I'm in. Yes, I want the book. I also, the book costs money, but if you like this and you subscribe to the channel, I can see that and I will send you a link to give you this book for free. I think it'll take about 90 minutes to 2 hours to read. There's no fluff. It's the process that I teach with people. And I know you'll find it extremely valuable, but eye-opening for looking at your business differently and attacking some ways to scale and grow and have meaning and have fulfillment and include your purpose in ways that you haven't thought about before. So just comment below saying, I'm in, I want the book, whatever that looks like, and subscribe. And I will send you a link to that for free. If you'd rather not subscribe, you know, you can also go to my website, blissfully.com, and there'll be a place where you can buy the book there. And it's extremely inexpensive, by the way, too. So invite you to do either of those. Ask me any questions and comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. What does culture mean to you? I'd love to build a relationship with you. I'm going to help you have both. And what I mean by that, I'm going to have you help you scale and have the profits you want and have the abundance you want. But I'm also going to have you help have the inspiration, the motivation, the all the things you long for of like meaning and purpose and that you matter within your business. And it can be your current business. I'm going to show you how that's possible. I don't think you have to go start something else. There's a reason you started this business. There's a reason you're watching this video right now. And I'd like to think it's an answer to, your prayers, what you've been seeking, what you've been wanting. And let's go on this journey together. If you subscribe, that'd mean a lot. And it's the beginning stages of this, as you can see. I'm putting out about a video a week right now. And it's kind of more of a discussion, like a little bit of a podcast. So much love, my friends, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.